You want some good old-fashioned CGI-free action films? You gotta head back to the 90s. Ring of Steel is a 1994 action film from director David Frost. The movie opens with two oily-chested gentlemen fighting in what appears to be a gladiator arena during the opening credits. Then a complete shift in tone as Chad Kroeger is the referee of the Pepsi Fencing Finals 2000. Even the music switches to being more lighthearted. Alex Fryer's a fencer on his way towards being the national champion. Why does his coach tell him to stick around?
There's not one more and you're national champion, so stick around!
Nah, I was thinking about quitting after this. Alex spies an attractive female fencer.
Anything else?
What?
Was there anything else you couldn't help but notice?
Well, now that you mention it.
We both have the same hair? Alex gets Elena to agree to coffee after the match. He's fighting in his last match of the day when his foil breaks and he accidentally kills his opponent. So, are we still on for coffee? While this is going on, a mysterious person watches. Days later at the funeral, Elena's talking to Alex while that mysterious person looks on. In case you missed it the last time. Alex is on a date with Elena. He's telling her a story about the greatest swordsman ever.
He goes to the nearest Japanese restaurant. Okay, she takes the chopsticks and goes... and he swats down 9 flies.
So is there any moral to that story?
Don't eat at Japanese restaurants because they're full of flies? Alex goes back to his gym, but his coach fires him. Depressed over his firing, Alex sits in his house drinking 2 beers because these ones still have their caps on. Elena comes over to see how he's doing. How did she get in? They get into an argument and she leaves. Assuming he's now single, he heads to the porn, chicken, and booze store to get the Lonely Man Special. He makes a turn down an alley and gets mugged. The mysterious figure shows up and it's Joe Don Baker in a cape. This movie just got so much better. He scares off the muggers and offers Alex a chance to fight in his underground fight club, the Ring of Steel. He goes home to find Elena waiting for him. She got in again? Does he just leave his place unlocked? They've only been dating for like a week. I don't think she'd have a key to his house yet. They reconcile and then advance lunge. The next night, Alex and Elena go to the secret warehouse. Once inside, they pass through a club of terrible dancers. The man in black meets up with them and introduces them to the club manager / supermodel, Tanya. Will you sign my Sports Illustrated swimsuit issue? The man in black, yes, that's how he's credited, takes them down to the real part of the club where a bunch of old people in suits bet on sword fights. Alex is immediately intrigued, but Elena thinks this is a bad idea. Jack, the best fighter in the ring, almost does a fatality on his opponent until Alex flips out. The crowd seems to be none too happy with these shenanigans. What exactly is Jack's tattoo? An alien with Wolverine claws? Black and Tanya are trying to convince Alex to fight for them.
See, our fighters are very well paid.
We get the best of everything.
Oh yes, only the best aluminum panels bought at Home Depot. Or how about this gym that looks like it's inside someone's garage? Only the best for our fighters. Black introduces Alex to the fighters. He meets Jack, but of course they don't get along. Everyone quick, show off how manly you are by displaying your scars. And Alex gets into the ring with another classically trained saber fighter. Elena is pissed. I know that's a real fencing stance, but he looks like he's from the Ministry of Silly Walks. Alex knocks the sword out of his opponent's hand and gets him to concede. Oh, the crowd is showering him in $1 bills. Alex and Elena are walking out together.
I couldn't have done this without you.
He couldn't have done this without her? The whole night she wanted to leave, and while he was fighting, she wasn't cheering for him. I think he would have done just fine without her. Alex tells Elena that he was offered a job to fight. Alex expresses to Elena that he always wanted to be a pirate.
I am the pirate. Are you winch? Prepare to be boarded.
Can we just get back to the sword fighting? The next day, the training starts for the Ring of Steel. Black is explaining the rules to the new recruits.
Now, there are a few rules. Now, number 1.
You do not talk about Sword Fight Club.
Now, if anybody has a problem with any of this, they should leave now.
Excuse me?
Yes.
What was the question again?
Okay, seriously? A super secret underground fighting circuit where only the best are chosen and somehow a LARPer got in.
I have sworn never to let Stormbringer leave my side.
And based on their reactions, this isn't the first time this has happened.
Great, another escapee from Wizards and Warriors.
Trevor tries to fight, but gets his ass handed to him. He threatens to call the cops, but Jack puts a stop to that. Alex stops Jack from killing Trebor, and the two get into a serious duel. They switch from practice swords to real swords, so Alex quits. He goes home to find they kidnapped Elena. Well, maybe if he didn't leave his door open all the time, this wouldn't have happened. Alex goes to confront Black. You got my funyuns? Black tells him that they're holding Elena until Alex wins some fights in the ring. He offers Alex one of his prized blades to use in the ring. He takes the rapier and dagger, since that is the most pirate-like. All these swords. Where's the soul edge? Elena's being held captive, and... is she? I mean, this doesn't look that bad at all. She's stuck in Tanya's apartment with this really nice view and two guards that are just sitting around eating pizza. If the house had a Super Nintendo, I'd consider this a vacation. Ah, good, more fighting. Alex is getting ready for his big match when Tanya arrives. Is this outfit supposed to be sexy? She looks like a blood clot. Oh, that's much better. Tanya and her mall hair try to seduce Alex. Did he borrow that shirt from Seinfeld? Jack shows up and is pissed because apparently he is dating her or something. Alex gets into the ring to fight his opponent, Turk Chestwell. Alex wins the fight, and as a reward, he gets to see Elena. Black takes Elena back and then very slowly subdues Alex. Someone called the cops and... Bob? Black invites the police to see the fights and to prove there's nothing illegal going on. Okay, this guy's a ninja and this guy is wearing water wings? Tanya's trying to seduce Alex again. She's a knockout, but all of her dresses are different colors of the same thing. First there was black, then red, now blue. Alex and Brian decide to play a prank on Jack, so they have him fight a chicken? Where did they find a live chicken? They're down to the finals, and Brian has to fight Jack. The same dress in green now? Black poisoned Jack's blade, so he'll kill Brian. Brian clucks like a chicken, so Jack kills him.
Brian was seriously wounded, but the soul still burns.
Purple dress. Elena somehow convinces her guard to give her a sword. Why would he fall for this? She ties him up and calls 911 to get the cops to go to the arena. Alex and Jack make their way into the ring, and it looks like it's time for...
Mullet Combat!
The next 10 minutes is pretty much Alex fighting Jack. It's awesome! Elena sneaks into the club with a bunch of Asian businessmen. God, the security around here sucks. Not only does she get into the club, she gets a sword and even makes her way into the ring. Although, what does she do when she gets there? She jumps on Jack's back. Isn't she supposed to be a professionally trained fencer? The police show up and Jack escapes with Elena. One of the cops shoots the clearly labeled gas pipe and sets the building on fire. Tanya tries to stop Jack, but he shoots her. Alex and Jack get into a fight, and he kicks Jack into the fire below. Alex and Elena escape in a most pirate-like fashion. Why does he have to hold his sword to kick open the door? They get on the roof, and Jack is still alive. I guess the fire broke his fall? Alex fights Jack, all while Elena stands there looking concerned. Jack tries to kill Alex, but Black kills him. He offers Alex a chance to join him at his new club, but he declines. Then Alex and Elena's stunt doubles jump to safety. The next day, the building's in ashes, and the man in black recovers Alex's sword. Although, wait a second, that's not black, that's gray. Huh? The movie was filmed in Los Angeles, California for a modest budget. The original script was much darker, but when the studio picked it up for distribution, they wanted it to be lighter, so director David Frost rewrote it. This explains why the whole thing is such an oddity. Here's this underground fight club where guys duel to the death with swords, but they play pirate music. They kidnap Elena, but they let her roam free. She even had her own room. Plus, the only two people to be killed in the ring are Brian and Trebor, and we don't even see Trebor's death. Speaking of Trebor, if you've been watching this show for a while, you probably recognized him. That's Travis McKenna, who was Timmy, one half of the rampant duo in cheerleader camp. Supermodel Carol Out didn't do much, and that's fine. She was essentially eye candy for the film. Darlene Vogel played Elena, the love interest. I used to watch her on the biker cop show Pacific Blue, and was surprised to find out that she was Spike in Back to the Future 2. Joe Don Baker played the Man in Black. An odd choice for sure. While in his heyday he was a badass in Walking Tall, here he just wasn't that imposing a figure. A lot of that has to do with the way he was written. He didn't come off menacing, he was just sort of goofy and, dare I say it, playful.
He who fights and runs away lives to fight another day. But it's usually best to face one's destiny. Don't you agree?
Robert Chapin played Alex. He grew up training in different areas of sword fighting. He trained in stage combat and worked at the local Renaissance Festival. He joined a jousting group called the Ring of Steel and performed at various theme parks. In 1989, he moved with his brother to Los Angeles and became a stuntman in movies like Army of Darkness and Robin Hood Men in Tights. In 1993, he wrote Ring of Steel as an homage to his old jousting group. He sold it to Universal under the condition that he played the lead. He was great in the role, and you could tell that he and the other sword fighters knew what they were doing. While he still occasionally does stunts, he's mostly moved on to doing visual effects work. He's worked on everything from Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon to the Fantastic Four. This movie is an absolute blast. The dialogue was incredibly corny.
These are not weapons, Alex. These are instruments of truth.
And yes, the plot was thin, but none of that really mattered. What made this so refreshing was the sword fighting. Sure, there's a lot of action movies on there, and some of them have a sword fight in it, but this movie was solely based in sword fights. The choreography was great, and there were plenty of fights to watch. If you want to see some genuine sword fights with no CGI and no wire foo, you really can't go wrong with this one.
I am Trebor, of the clan of Ravenhurst from the Shire of Pasadena. Chaotic, evil barbarian.